Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today I'm going to show you how to sort your magic card collection, or sort a collection that you get in, and to do so quickly without, well, losing your mind, quite frankly. And I got to tell you, I have sorted thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of cards, and I've had lots of people help me sort thousands and thousands and thousands of cards. And the general consensus is, after a while, you just kind of want to claw your eyes out because you're sorting so many cards. But over the years, we managed to figure out a way to do it fairly quickly without really losing your mind. The thing is, though, you got to want to move quickly while you're sorting your cards. Now, this works good for pretty much any card game. Some of the general stuff, some of the more specific stuff, like sorting by color, is going to be specifically for Magic. So you may have to adapt your card sorting slightly if you're doing something, say, like Dragon Ball Z or Force of Will or Pokemon. But today I'm going to focus on sorting a Magic card collection. All right, so we're going to take a quick look at this long box. I have actually built this long box myself. And what I did is I mixed all sorts of Magic cards with regular cards, some trading cards. I've turned cards every which way. I've got tokens, I've got rules inserts, I've got lands, I got rares. So I've got everything in here, and they're all jumbled up on purpose. I mean, some days I'll open this box and just grab some cards, shuffle them around real quick, and throw them right back in this box. So this is going to be a great sample for me to work with today and show you how to sort these cards. So again, we're going to be sorting Magic cards, and I'm going to show you how to do it by using this box as an example. Now, of course, you may have different ideas of how to sort your cards because you may have different reasons. For me in this video, the reason why I'm going to show you the technique that we use is because the objective is to be able to find a named card quickly and easily. And that's what we're looking for, is to find a card quickly and easily. So if I got a card list, it's easy for me to find those cards very quickly and very easily. Now at home, where you may not be worried about people handing you card lists and you're trying to find cards, you may have a slightly different organizational method for your Magic cards, which is okay. But this is the system that we've used and we've come across, and we figured that it seems to work pretty good for us. All right, so let's get started. All right, so here's our Magic cards we're going to sort through. And let's get started. Basically, I'm just going to grab myself a chunk of Magic cards here, and you can already see that I've got some cards that don't belong. So how do you sort cards that are in such a state? I mean, this is pretty bad. This is really bad. Usually when I get Magic cards, man, I really made this difficult for me in this video. But usually when I get Magic cards, at the very least, they're usually at least all facing the same direction. They're all either right side up or upside down, depending on how the other person was sorting. But this is pretty atrocious. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all the non-Magic the Gathering cards. I'm also going to get rid of all the tokens, regardless of whether or not they're face up, face down. I can always go back and go do tokens later. But basically, I'm going to just mass pull anything that's obviously not a Magic card, not like an actual playable card. I mean, I know tokens you can use, but it doesn't have the Magic the Gathering back. So I don't care if it's a token or if it's advert. I'm just going to pull it super quick, get it off to the side. Magic cards, I'm going to turn the right way and just throw them in a big stack. Any other brand of cards, I'm going to throw them off to the side. And I'm just going to do this just as quickly as possible. At this point, I'm only worried about getting the Magic cards out and getting all this other junk out of my way so I can actually do some real sorting. Let's see. Of course, it's easy to make a mess while you're going. Oh, and lands, I'll pull out lands too if I happen to see them. See, there's a land right there. Just get these out of here. I'm not even worried about pulling the lands out right side up. Just as long as I get the Magic cards right side up. That's really kind of what I'm looking for. Just gonna get these two stacks going. And you notice right now I'm not even worried about color or anything, because the important thing is getting the Magic cards out. Now what I will do is, while I am going through this, I need to be on the lookout for rares. Now there is a quicker, easier way to do rares. So what I normally do is I just go ahead and blow through this and get as many magic cards out as possible, because it's the way to look for rares in any collection is super easy. So I'm just going to keep going here. I'm going to get a decent little segment of magic cards, and then I'll show you how to go through the magic cards. And see, thankfully I'm running into chunks that are all right side up, which is really nice. This makes this a lot faster. Oh yeah. Foreign cards, well, I'll just lump it in there, it's all right. The only thing with foreign cards is you can always figure out that later on. Oh, let's see. Let's do just a couple more here. But foreign cards, if I can recognize as a magic card, which it's pretty easy if you've been playing Magic for a while, then just pull them right out. Just pull all these babies right out. Okay, there's that. Oh, and a sleeve, that's great. Oh, bad magic card. If you get a magic card like this, it's clearly bad. Just throw it off to the side. Don't worry about it. You don't need it. There's no reason to try to salvage it unless it's a super ultra expensive card. Let's see here. Just pull these out. Okay. Well, I did pretty good. So this section wasn't too bad. And usually cards like these that are already in the sleeve, I wait till last to pull it out and see what's in there, and we had a rare. Okay. Okay, so we're going to stop right there, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do. So with all this junk that I pulled off to the side, I can always go back and pull lands and tokens out later. I'll throw that off to the side because those are nowhere near as important as the main magic cards. So I'm going to square all these guys up. Now, what I do from this point is I've already organized them to where they're all right side up. This is going to really help me in what I'm about to do next. So what I want to do, and conveniently enough, I have a rare right on top, and you can tell by the, there we go, adjust my camera, you can tell by the gold symbol. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the whole stack of magic cards upside down. This is how I begin sorting out my rares. For me, at the store, rares are the most important thing because, well, they're your trade fodder. I can sell the rares for a lot more than commons and commons typically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my cards like this upside down so I can quickly go through the stack of magic cards and look at the expansion symbol and look for the rare emblem or the gold color. And I'm going to go through and see where all my rares are. So obviously, Dearly Departed is a rare because the expansion symbol's gold, so I'm set that off to the side. Commons and commons, I just don't worry about. I just keep cruising through. Nice and fast. And for me, oh, see, there's some rares right there. So I'll put all my commons and commons off to the side right there. There's a rare, there's another rare. Okay, I'll just keep going. Just like that. And you might be thinking, well, you know, you don't have to worry about selling rares as much. So what does it matter? What is really important, because rares, even if you're not a business owner like me, rares are going to be your trade fodder. It doesn't matter if they're low-end rares or high-end rares. People always want to see your rares. So when you put cards in a binder, don't put commons and uncommons in there unless they're super good, like Lightning Bolt or maybe Manamorphose or Curd Ape or something like that. For most commons and commons, I'm just going to put them right back in a box. You always want to have your rares out, because usually rares will have more abilities, they'll have some neat abilities, they'll be higher priced. That's what you're going to want. You're going to put your rares in a binder. But this way, going super fast, and I will literally go through a whole collection. And see, look, he was right side up. There we go. I will literally go through a whole collection and mill out all the rares first, and then a day or two later, I'll go back and sort the rest of the collection out. Okay, so in this small section, it didn't take us too long to get through that. So you can just about imagine how long it would take us to get through the rest of the box, which isn't too bad. So I've pulled out some of these rares, which is nice. And I'll set these off to the side. And they're all just off screen. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize the rest of these cards by Wooburg order. And if you're not familiar, that's white, blue, black, red, green, or W, U for blue, because they didn't want to confuse white, I'm sorry, they want to confuse blue and black, so they just made blue U. So it's W-U-B-R-G, Wooburg order. And then after that, you can put your multicolored cards, then you can put your artifacts and lands. So what I'll do is at this point, I'm going to keep my cards upside down. So just like this. Keep all my magic cards upside down. And now I'm going to go ahead and sort them by color. White, starting off on the left-hand side right here. So I figure if I got white, blue, black, red, green, I'll put greens on this far side over here. So there's some greens right there. White, blue, we'll put blue right there. See if I can get the greens on screen. There we go. Black would be here, so red would be here. Let's see. Greens. Oh, now I got some multicolor cards. Now these hybrid cards, you got to be careful because at first glance, if you're going real fast, it looks like these are red cards. See how this card right here, the second card, what was that, Spite Flame Witch? She looks like a red card as I'm cruising through, but you got to be savvy and actually look at the mana cost to see if it's a hybrid card. It's a hybrid card. Well, these are multicolored cards, so this is going to go right after my greens over here. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit here. See if you can, white, blue, black, red, green, and maybe you can just kind of see them. Not so much, that's okay. So I'm going to keep sorting. Green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green. So just go through real fast. Sometimes you have to take time to straighten up your stacks. Black, this isn't as fast as I can normally go. Of course, I've got the camera in my way, but still, it's not too bad. White, green. And again, by keeping all your magic cards upside down while you sort, you might be able to catch a rare that you missed going through the first time, which I've done on many occasions. All right, so there we go. I sorted out my rares from earlier. And then I've got my commons and uncommons, my whites, my blues, my blacks, my red, my greens, my multicolors, and way off on this side of the screen, off a camera, I'm going to have artifacts when and if I come across any of those. And so that's basically how you sort magic cards. Oh, and lands as well, too. So I'll go through here, get some more green, red, lands. Now, lands, I don't worry about right away. I just want to get all the lands out of the way, because what happens is I can always go back, and when I go through my lands, I can resort them then. And the reason why I'm not too worried about, let's say, lands, having them mega sorted by what type of mana they produce, is because I'm not going to have quite as many. Out of any set that you sort, you're not going to have the large variety of lands that you're going to have with all the other colors. You know, oops, I don't need to sort this yet. I'll put this back. You're going to have way more of the colors than you're going to have lands or artifacts, and sometimes even multicolor. Of course, it depends on the set. You know, Lara Reborn, it's all multicolor, so. And it depends on of course, when you're sorting the collection, it depends on what they have in the collection. So you could have a whole crap ton of lands, but then you just adjust your sorting accordingly. But it's not too bad. What's really bad is when it seems like every other card is a different color. Oh, it drives me crazy. There's some hybrid. That's not too bad. There we go. Get those out of the way. Black. There we go. It's nice when you hit a pocket of consistency and you're able to sort a bunch of cards real quick in mass. Lands? Yep, lands. Okay. Now, of course, at this point while I'm sorting, occasionally I'll take a break to sort what I've got. Well, not really sort so much as I will kind of just to square everything up so they're nice and neat. Here I'm trying to keep everything decently on camera for you, so it's taking me just a little bit longer, because a lot of times I just let them get really messy all the way up to the top. But I want to look good for you and kind of see what I'm doing. Let me kind of push all these together. And of course, white is over here. Now, eventually, with the rares, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with the rares. I'm going to sort them by Wooburg order: white, blue, black, red, green. And then within each, I'm going to alphabetize. But that's a little ways down the road. So I'm going to set them off to the side. I usually won't worry about the rares until the very end. The most important thing is I'm pulling rares first, and then sorting everything else is secondary. Let's do this again. Some more magic cards here. Let's see, oh, that's not even a card that belongs. There we go. More white. Now, another problem you can come up with is some of the older sets, some of the really older sets, their expansion symbols were not colored, and I believe they started coloring these expansion symbols around Exodus. I think Exodus is when they started to color code all the expansion symbols. So anything before Exodus, you're going to have kind of a problem trying to figure out what the rares are. But you know what? That's okay. If I happen to see an old card I'm familiar with and I'm pretty sure it's a rare, I pull it off to the side. Of course, I've been playing the game since Revised was the core set. So it helps me out a little bit because I've been playing so long, I can kind of tell what to pull. You may not have that experience, but that's okay. Just go ahead and sort through them, and you can always later on, if a card feels like it could be a rare, or if you only have one of a certain card out of a giant stack of cards, that might be an indicator that it might be a rare. It's pretty hard just to guess without knowing the older sets, which means you just have to end up looking it up online. Let's see, here's some more red cards. Here's a card that doesn't belong. Now in this block, I'm just gonna go flip all these over. Now, you do see me though, I'm not taking the time to do the whole stack now, because in the beginning I took that whole stack, I pre-sorted it, and then I went ahead and then I sorted it out into my stacks. But I'm just kind of used to sorting it this way, but you may want to do it differently. There we go. See, this is really screwed up, so now I am kind of sorting them all a certain way. Okay, there we go. All right, so multicolor. Oh, a couple rares. Okay, put those over there. Lands I don't need. There we go. I mean, you basically what I'm trying to say is you just modify your sorting accordingly. And with me, I've been sorting this way so long, I really don't have to sit here and pre-sort everything because I'm just so used to doing it. I can just kind of, as I go, I just kind of do this power sorting kind of as I go, but I guess I should probably be a little more consistent and sort like I told you I was going to sort. The ultimate, but the main thing is that you want to make sure to sort all your cards by color, because it's really going to help you out building decks. Even if they're not alphabetized, that's not a big deal. For us it is, but even if it's not alphabetized, at least it's easier to go through, say, 1,000 green cards than a giant 5,000 count box looking for a certain green card, because the whole box is just a jumble of different magic colors. See, sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes while I'm sorting, I'll stick cards that I know don't belong or are different colors that I don't need immediately. I'll shove them right behind my hand for disposal later, because it's just, sometimes I get tired of taking a card and putting it over there, taking a card and putting it over there. So sometimes I just try to stockpile cards. There's a rare right there, and I'll just lay it in front of me. There's another red card, there's some lands, there's a multi, black. Just kind of depends on what I feel like at the time. Let's see. There we go. Lots of lands. Boy, there's lots of lands in this section. But that's kind of nice. When there's a lot of one thing like all these reds, super fast, super easy. Although it's easy to slip up and miss one of those rares. There we go. And we'll sort that right there. There's another rare I'm gonna put over here. And it's really no trouble at all. And this video is only about 16 minutes long so far. And see, foreign cards. Depending on who you are, you know, Mold Drifter, he's a couple of bucks right there. But it just depends. Some people like foreign cards, some people don't. There was a day where I would literally just give a foreign card away because I'm just not a big foreign card fan. There's like one or two cards I might know really well that I might keep, but a lot of times I just cast these off to the side. And even now, a lot of people pass on a foreign card because they just don't want to have a proxy. They don't want to, they want to be able to actually read their card. It just really depends on the person when it comes to foreign cards. But they are pretty cool though, and some of them can look really cool in your deck, especially the lands. A lot of people like to do that. Let's see, turn this around. I know it's a land. See, so many of these are turned the other way. It's just easier for me to flip them around. There we go. Oh man, what a pain. Now see, this is the kind of obnoxiousness you can run into when you get a collection from somebody. Let's see here, turn those around. But see, once I've got this sorted, it seems like I'm making extra work for myself, but I tell you, when you go back through later, it's gonna go a lot faster. And of course, you know, I'm showing you, how do I want to say, the kind of showing you the slower, proper way for me to sort your magic cards. And then that way you can adapt what you need from this technique, and you can sort them the way that's best for you. Look at all these extra cards. I don't even know why these cards in here. Holy crap, there's a bunch of cards. I didn't realize I made it so difficult on myself. All right. So here we go, here's another set of cards. Okay, I'm gonna set this off the side. Okay, there's a rare, hitting a nice little pocket of rares. That's kind of cool. Some more multicolors. I think after this, probably gonna stop. That way you don't necessarily have to watch me do the whole box. Rare, land, God, there's a lot of lands. Sometimes I just get, when I'm sorting, I just get frustrated and I get tired of hitting every other magic card being a land, so I'll go through and I'll just go real quick in the stack I'm working with. I'll just strip out the lands or tokens or whatever the cards I got going on over there. Oh, I just had a disaster. I just had off screen, I just had a bunch of cards just slide everywhere. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see. Blue's okay, red, blue, red. And just get through these real quick. That last stack. Again, foreign cards, you can leave them or you can take them, give them away. But remember, foreign cards have value too, because if you run into a rare, that's a foreign card. There's a couple more. You're definitely going to want to get the most for your money on that. Okay. So I won't sort the rest of the box, but you can see I've got my stack of white cards, blue cards, black, red, green. Then just off camera here, I've got some multicolors, I got artifacts, I got lands, and then I got a whole pile of just lands, other cards from other card games, tokens and stuff, which I can go through later. And here are all my rare cards. And again, once I'm done sorting the box, let's pretend this was the entirety of the collection. There's no more cards in there. So then I would go back through and I would sort my rares in the same manner that I sorted all the commons and uncommons in classic Wooburg order: white, blue, black, red, green, followed by multicolor, artifacts, and lands. And then, once I've got those cards sorted, I'm going to go through and I'm going to alphabetize. So Dearly Departed, Renounce, and how I alphabetize is as I'm flipping through cards this way in the box. So D, R, E, R, Q. Okay, so there we go. There's my, I just alphabetized my rares. C, we got here A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I. Okay, so that's fairly well alphabetized. And when I alphabetize, I hardcore alphabetize, so it's not just A's, B's, C's, D's, because I'm going to want multiples of certain cards together. So I'm going to go ahead and hardcore alphabetize. So let's say if I got a bunch of Goblin Kings, they're all together. I don't have to go hunting through all the reds to find them. It's all about speed. Okay. And this is something you can do at home while you're watching TV. Maybe watch the kids play in the yard. So it's not too bad. You can just do a little bit at a time. And when you don't have a camera in front of you, and you just left your own devices, you can actually sort through a lot of cards really quickly. Now, a lot of people probably, a lot of you at home probably won't take the time to organize your commons and uncommons alphabetically. That's fine. But I would encourage you to at least softcore alphabetize them, like A's, B's, C's, D's. That would be pretty nice for going through and trying to find certain cards when you need them. But even still, just having a stack of green cards that are just sorted by color, and you know that they're all right set up, you know all your greens are together, especially in a small collection, it's quicker and easier to go through a stack like this than this entire box full of Magic cards. But at GameMasters Guild, we try to keep everything organized, although when people go through the boxes here at the store, especially the commons and the commons, inevitably, sooner or later, they're going to get out of order. So it's always a continuous job trying to keep them in order. But at the very least, they're softcore alphabetized, you know, like A's, B's, C's, especially when it comes to the commons and uncommons. And that's how we have it done. We have all of our commons and uncommons sorted by set and by color within each set. Now, you don't necessarily have to sort by set. For us, it's just more convenient. It's a lot easier to do. Especially when we go to look up the cards, when we look up the cards online for a customer to find the price and to see what sets they're in, it's nice they have all the sets that the card is in. It's going to be listed, so then we can say, oh, we'll go to 10th edition. Look, oh, it's not 10th edition. It was also in 2011, 2012, maybe Battle for Zendikar, and then we know we can go to these different sets. It's just nice to have them fine-tuned like that. Now, again, you may not need it quite that fine-tuned. You might not need it sorted by set, which is fine, but it does just help for organization later on. And all our rares are all definitely sorted by color. Now, we don't sort the rares because we have, compared to the amount of commons and uncommons we have a much smaller proportion of rares. So what we've done is we only sort the rares by color, and then we alphabetize them. Just because even of all the thousands, tens of thousands of Magic cards we have, our rares proportionally smaller. So I don't feel the need to have all the rares sorted by set, because then you have 20 cards for 20 rare cards for one set. Then you have maybe two rare cards from another set. It's really kind of pointless. At that point, it's more trouble than it's worth. But having all the cards, your rares sorted by color and alphabetized, really nice. Now, of course, if you're in a binder, a lot of folks will organize them by play sets, by color, or maybe cards that they use in a certain deck, and that's fine. It's just the big thing is trying to keep your stuff organized and easy to find. So rares, you want to pull out your rares quickly, and you want to get them in a binder as soon as possible. Probably want to sleeve them and put them in a binder in order to keep them safe. And most of your commons and uncommons, you can just throw right back in a box and just keep them sorted, and that way you've got them whenever you need them. And of course, cards like this, well, there's not too much help for a card like this. Unless it's a super high-end card, let's say this was a Misty Rainforest, man, I would try my best to make this card a little bit nicer. Mostly I would just try to get some of the high appeal back by just flattening it out and throwing some books on it or something. But something like this, don't even bother keeping. All right, well, I think we're done. Well, there we go. Sorting Magic cards is pretty easy, even when they're really mixed up with other card games and they're shuffled every which way. It's not too hard to go through Magic cards quickly. When you are sorting your Magic cards, especially when you get someone else's collection, try not to think about the 5,000 count box you got to sort. Go by chunks. When you get that small chunk, oh, I just got to get through the small one. Oh, done. Oh, look, that was easy. And just go through the next one. It can be daunting sometimes to get through a giant collection and sort it the way you want to. That's why we sort them the way we do. That's why I'll take a collection and I'll burn through a couple 5,000 count boxes, looking only for the rares, pull those rares out because they're the most important, get them where they need to be, and then later on I can always come back and at my leisure I can sort out the commons and uncommons. Of course, they need to get done sooner rather than later, so they're available for us to go through, so when we're filling out card lists, we can go ahead and have those cards available. And for you, you can let them sit, but eventually they're just going to get in the way. So you need to get them sorted and get them where they belong as quickly as possible. Plus also too, if you're really only concerned mostly about the rares and you've already got stacks of commons and uncommons, you could pull out all the rares, take your commons, uncommons, and say give them to a friend who's just getting into Magic. So now they have a big card pool to pull from. Sure, might not be anything super great, but at least they have variety. And when you're first getting into Magic, having variety, man, I tell you, it's really nice to have a lot of variety. That's how I got into Magic. I got a bunch of variety of cards that no one else wanted because they had a bazillion of each. But for me, just getting into it, I didn't have any of those cards. So I really appreciated getting all those cards and had a fun time going through them and building decks with them. And as I added to the collection, of course, it just got better and better. So again, quick review. When you're going through Magic cards, I always like to sort them upside down. And I just mill out. I don't even bother sorting the tokens or the lands or the whatever other cards might be in there. I just pull them all off to the side. Of course, if I want to, I could, and I'm talking basic lands, not your non-basics. Non-basics, I pull them out completely separately. But with your regular lands and your tokens, man, I just put them in a big pile and I get to them later because I'm just not as concerned about those cards because odds are good I'm going to already have a bunch of those cards. And those are some of the last things that get sorted and organized. And then, of course, your basic lands will be sorted, white, blue, black, red, green. And your non-basics will be sorted, they'll be sorted by color, and they'll be alphabetized eventually. Just like all the other commons and uncommons, they'll be sorted by color, they'll be alphabetized, and all your rares will be, and all your rares will be sorted by color and alphabetized as well. And then your commons and uncommons, if you want to sort them out by set, you can. And again, I like to sort all my cards upside down, especially nowadays, because there's a large portion of collections now that don't have a lot of the older cards where the expansion symbol wasn't color coordinated. So it's super easy for you to go through a collection and find all the rares. And that's what we do. It makes it quick and makes it easy for us. It also helps if you have some friends or in our case, employees to help you sort through some cards because it makes a big difference when it's not just you. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for today. I just thought it might be kind of nice to share with you how we at GameMasters Guild sort our Magic cards, and hopefully this has been helpful for you. Well, thank you for watching. If you're ever in the area here in Crestview, Florida, be sure to come check us out at 743 Ashley Drive. And our phone number is 850-682-0022 if you've got any questions. All right, I'm Dave Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, telling you to stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.